everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the synopsis of Extraordinary Attorney Woo, episode 12. Episode 12 starts with senior manager Kim Hyun-jung in her office. She's a decorated employee at her life insurance firm, but that all comes crashing down when she's called into a meeting with her boss. With the structure of the company changing, she's forced into resigning. If she doesn't do this voluntarily, then her husband could go without his pay. This is when you should support your husband, Mr. Moon, the head of HR, says. Miss Kim is shell-shocked and unsure how to take this news. Outside, Hyung-jung speaks to her husband. He uncomfortably reveals that the company wants to get rid of all the female employees. Anyone else sensing a section case building. Anyways, that's the last thing Hyun-jung is thinking of now, shocked at the sacrifice she's made for this company only to be treated this way. It's tough to watch, especially as she drops to her knees and claps her hands together, struggling to process this news. At Hanbada, Myung-suk finds himself in a tricky position. An old case involving a dangerous man called Jang Ji-jin looks like it's coming back to haunt him. With the madman on the loose, he's convinced the guy is coming for him. Myung-suk ends up paranoid, jumping at every time while alone. Still, the focus here is secretly on the discriminatory case that Miss Kim was subjected to at this life insurance firm. Now, given 98% of the females have already resigned, the argument that this firm isn't sexist doesn't quite hold weight, given their husbands are being held hostage by the bosses during this negotiation. It's perhaps partly surprising that it's come down to this. Hyung-jung is the one who has filed the complaint, but Hanbada are actually defending the company's interests this time, given that's who they've been hired by. The opposing lawyer is Ryu Jae-seok, who is well versed in this sort of cases. In fact, she's well known to jump all over these social issues. Even if she doesn't have the best win rate, our Hanbada lawyers actually found her protesting outside prior to the courtroom meetings. Myung-suk immediately brings this up as ammo before the judge, pointing out that it could be undermine the fairness of the trial. The judge, though, is more preoccupied by Ryu's family's name, given it's the same as his own. In court the next day, Mr. Moon is on the stand and forced to face the word he said to each of these women. The sexist remarks about how they need to be housewives and support their husband. Apparently, these were his personal opinion and irrelevant to the company policy. Ryu throws this back in his face, and unfortunately, as her name matches Judge Ryu's, he's allowed leniency in the courtroom and for her to continue this line of questioning. There's even one drama when it appears to one of the women who testifies on behalf of the company was actually given a pretty generous amount of money from mere life insurance when her husband fell ill and couldn't work. When Ryu asks whether this is connected to her being in the courtroom, she can't answer. In the hallway through, she ends up hugging Hyunjung, who points out that this ordeal is unfair and on them all. As for Hanbada, Youngwoo ends up having another light bulb moment as she connects an ad for Human Women's Hospital on the side of a taxi. To a keychain worn by one of the plaintiffs, alas, the plot thickens. Youngwoo is thrown off her game by Minwoo bombshells revealed at night. He points out that Hanbada were instrumental in her life insurance restructuring plan. This whole idea for firing female employees was actually suggested by their firm. Oh, and he even has the consulting firms from Hanbada so she can read it herself. Youngwoo is not happy and confronts Myung-suk about this. He doesn't deny it, but Young-soo sees this as a shameful thing to do. She continues on about how she wants to be an honorable lawyer, but Myung-suk shrugs that off, pointing out that they have a job to do and sometimes that includes taking on difficult projects and clients. Myung-suk tells Youngwoo that her attention should be on defending mere life, given that's who their clients are. In court, Youngwoo brings up the hospital and its connection to the victims. Now, it turns out this is actually a maternity clinic specializing in infertility treatments. In order to get these treatments, one must visit the hospital 3 times a week for a month. This would mean the woman needs to leave work early and frequently for IVF. As a result, this is spun by Youngwoo to suggest the women are happy for the voluntary resignation, given it's beneficial for them. The judge sides with Youngwoo, allowing the questioning to continue. During a recess, Youngwoo's confliction is only made worse when she speaks to Ryu Jae-suk outside. She brings up how her law firm is different to Hanbada in the way they support people rather than clients. This throws even more confusion Youngwoo's way, who finds herself unsure what to do. Suyeon catches Minwoo off guard that night by mentioning that Junho is dating Youngwoo. However, Minwoo's game playing has only just begun. Remember those prompts Minwoo gave Youngwoo? Well, Minwoo breaks into her office after hours and puts her business card inside. Addressing it to attorney Ryu to take it seemed like they're in collision together. Youngwoo is obviously unaware of this and meets with Junho that night. He's surprised by her declaring they're not dating together, pointing out everything they've done. Sighing, Junho tells her that this has really hurt him. In court the next day, Ryu presents the anonymous envelope sent to her, including damning documents about mere life insurance plans. Minwoo watched in interest, hoping to see Youngwoo's name pop up. Only it's not her document. This is something else entirely and actually accepts from Moon's personal notebook one of the employees snatched up. Myung-suk fights back too, claiming that it's been obtained illegally but that won't fly given this a civil case, and the judge even allowed it to be used as well. The verdict comes in after all this drama, and all claims of the plaintiffs are dismissed. The litigation costs are also to be paid by them too. Hanbada and Mere Life Insurance wins. The judge points out how this isn't gender inequality given it's acceptable from socio-economic perspective. Not only that, but as they didn't specify that this restructuring wasn't only for women to resign, it isn't seen as gender inequality. Despite Mere Life Insurance winning, Mr. Moon isn't exactly over the moon with joy. It turned out he's on the verge of being fired. Given he was unsuccessful in his attempt at restructuring, the company are going to let him go. The trial and the release are too much for the firm to ignore. After firing around 100 employees, Moon claims that it's karma if he doesn't manage to get another job. Ryu Jae-suk decided to throw an after-trial party, something which Youngwoo and Sooyeon decided to attend. They show up at her firm, with Youngwoo commenting how Ryu is like a river dolphin and hope a liar of her class doesn't go extant. Ryu also shows off the envelope and her business card too. Ryu never used this in court as you know Youngwoo would have gotten into trouble. So, thankfully, Minwoo's plan goes awry for now. As for Youngwoo and Sooyeon, they listen to Ryu poetry while on the rooftop together. Naturally, Youngwoo ends up fantasizing about the dolphin floating by behind her. It's a beautiful way to end a bittersweet and tough case. Myung-suk heads up to his office that night, grappling a weapon and determined to strike a shadowy man following him in the law firm. However, he receives a message confirming that Jung Tae-jin has been caught, so he has nothing to worry about. However, this little panic attack has an adverse effect on Myung-suk, who begins coughing up blood. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye!